Good afternoon and welcome to the Temple of Mercy Association located at 616 East on 71st Street. I am Brother Minister Yashua, your speaker for today. I'd just like to begin by reciting our opening. In the name of the everlasting Father, he that causes all that exists to exist, he that is self-existent, he who directs the sonships of millions and trillions of years, and he who's made time, the seed of the universe. He's known among the ancient Kemites or the indigenous people of Africa as Amun-Ra, Aton. Among the Hebrews is Ansof, Yahweh, and Elohim. Among the Christians is Lord God and Jehovah. And among the Muslim and the Islamic world is Allah, the one God. But I bear witness that all of these names refer to the same one Almighty God, and it is to him whom I give reverence and to whom I submit. I boldly proclaim that we, the descendants of those black men and women who survived the transatlantic slave trade, are the lost 13th tribe, born here in North America, and that we are of a Nubian Kemetic lineage. I further proclaim that all the blood of the nations flow through our vein. It is in that essence, in that presence, that I greet you in the ancient but yet holy words of peace, which are Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu alaikum, Abaragani, Alafia, and Ashe. All the greetings and salutations and languages and persuasions that we happen to find Black people of America involved in, and we like to honor and acknowledge and respect everybody's right to worship the Creator, regardless of the religious denomination they claim, the title, the ritual, the dress, the holy book that they use. The Temple of Mercy Association is about unity. And the only way that we can have unity is to find those things that we have in common and not those things that we have as a difference, because we know differences are toxic and it's like a disease. Once you find one difference, it'll lead to another difference and another difference. And before you know it, we'll find ourselves doing just like the children on the street. We'll be religious gangbanging while they street gangbanging over different sets and what hood they from and what star they flying, if it's a 5 or 6 point, if it's blue or if it's red, and we'll be looking just like them, if it's Christian or if it's Muslim or if it's Hebrew. So the Temple of Mercy Association was created to bring about the growth of a righteous community in accordance with the laws of the Creator of the universe, under the leadership and guidance of Brother Minister Rahim Kased Aton. And that guidance has led us to the point where we look at the different religions and we fight hard. I say it again, we fight hard to bring our people together for a common cause, because all the things that are ailing us as a people is not skipping over one group going to the next. Meaning, there's violence in our community. Violence is not just happening to Christians and not happening to Muslims and Hebrews alike. It's happening to everybody. We know that there's killing going on in our community. We know that there's an overabundance of alcohol. We know there's a flood of illegal guns in our community, because we know our children aren't old enough, aren't smart enough, don't have enough money to be purchasing some of these $2,000 and $3,000 guns that you see being used in our community. So those issues that are facing us aren't skipping over religions. So we shouldn't be back trying to solve these issues, fighting against one another to see which religion everybody gonna join and how we gonna come together, and everybody got to be under this covenant and everybody got to be under this promise, and we just all in the street fighting. The Hebrew Israelite nation came to 63rd and King Drive yesterday. Some say thousands of people showed up. And what did they show up for? You would think they showed up to do what? To spread the good word, right? But that's not what happened. They started getting into it because, you know, their teaching is a fire and brimstone teacher. And if you're not a Hebrew Israelite, then you're not following the commandments of God, and you're not following what's in this book if you're not a Hebrew Israelite. Even though we're all sons of Abraham, they don't accept Islam. Islam came from Father Abraham. The book said that his seed will be mighty and abundant in the land and wax to a number that no man would know. It didn't just say under Isaac. What about Ishmael? So these are the type of things that the Temple of Mercy Association is involved in, is bridging the gap between all of these differences. And we sit as the common denominator among all these religions. So if you're a community activist and you're somebody in the community and you've had these type of issues before, and you want to go somewhere where you don't have to worry about what flag you flying and what religion you are and all of these other things and which holy book you want to, use to get your life together, this is probably where you want to be. 616 East on 71st Street, because we represent all and none at the same time. I say that again. We represent all and none at the same time. So if you're going to talk about going into our community and you're going to talk about saving our youth, you got to learn the language of the people you're talking to. Would y'all agree? So if I'm going to talk to somebody in the community that's of a Christian background, it would do me some good to know something about what? The Christian religion. If I meet somebody in the street and they tell me their name is Khalil and their last name is Muhammad or Akbar, it would do me some good to know something about the Quran so that I can reach that person. Not so that I can take this book and use the information in it to try to convert and change and make this person into me, but to take whatever they learn in these books and in these different religions to try to help bring them up to another level, bring them out of the condition that we find in our people in. It's too much going on for us to be talking about this religion over that religion. We had a mentor named Dr. Webb Evans. Bless his soul. He lived to be 101 years old. And I remember we were at a meeting and we had all these different various groups and religions, and we were talking about this, and one group was beating up the church about the church ain't doing this, and another group was beating up another group about this and that. And Dr. Evans stood up and he said, friend, he said, the condition that black people in, we can't afford to do this or that. We got to do this and that. And that resonated with us because it's true. You got to be able to reach people on all different spectrums, on all different ways of life. But you got to be able to come to them in a neutral stance because you don't know what their background is. Oftentimes we come into the community and we turn people off. We just turn them off, and I have to tell us, especially some of the Hebrews that I made, I said, look, why don't you just step outside of yourself for just 1 second? Look at the uniform that you got on. You got that big 6-point star on your thing. And to you, that's the Star of David, correct? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I said, I know. Now let's look at this young man over here that don't know nothing about the Hebrew religion. Ain't never heard nothing about the Bible. What do you think he think your 6-point star means? GD, BD, right? So he think it's something totally different, and unless you explain to him what it is, he'll never know. So now let's just say he see you talking to the brother standing next to you, and he got his star and crescent on. Again, he ain't never heard of no Islam. He don't know nothing about no Prophet Muhammad. He's never heard or seen a Quran a day in his life, and he see your symbol. What do you think your symbol is gonna mean to him? Blackstone, Four Corner Hustler, Finball, Allwell, right? He gonna think it's something else. So if they see you two arguing, what chance do we have to get them to stop arguing with each other over these symbols, over these persuasions, over these colors, over these stars? How are we gonna make the kids stop gang banging and we supposed to be the people of God? Talking about this is the holy covenant, this is the infallible word of God, and we can't get along with our brother. But we gonna think we gonna help Pookie and Ray Ray stop gangbanging with each other, right? And we don't realize we're setting the example for which they are divided among each other because they can't even see us getting along with each other. And we supposed to represent God. How do you think they see that? Oh, well, you got a point there. But see, again, you got to go back to the scripture. because God gave the promise and the covenant to the Israelite. He didn't give that to Ishmael. He just said they'd be blessed. I said, okay, covenant, promise, blessed. I say, so we're going to argue as siblings. We both standing here, we siblings of the same father, and we're going to argue our position to our father because we had different mothers. Is that what we're doing today? Because that's what it sounds like you're talking about. But we're all the children of Father Abraham. So all other religions fall under Abraham. It don't matter which one you claim. We all got the same father. We all are brothers and sisters under God. So why do we have to continue to fight each other? One of our missions in the Temple of Mercy Association is to enhance the economic development of our community. Well, how are you going to do that? By establishing businesses, purchasing real estate, commercial and residential properties, so that we can create jobs and or entrepreneurship training programs that would do what? Reverse the concept of us trying to leave our community because we think it's so bad to buy in our community. Do you all understand that there's over 2,000 properties in our community that's under 30,000? That it only take probably 100 to maybe 150,000 to rehab? But somebody tricked us into believing it's better to go out to Lansing, or it's better to go out to Crete, or it's better to go out to one of these suburbs and spend $500,000 on a house. Knowing that if you took out a $500,000 mortgage, it's going to be 3 times that amount. So it's better in your mind to go spend $1.5 million to go live someplace else. Like Pookie and Ray Ray ain't going to find their way out there. Than it is to take $30,000 in Inglewood and take $100,000 and rehab it. You can have about 10 houses, almost a half a block for the same amount of money. But we don't believe in ourselves no more. We can't clean up the block no more. We can't clean up the community. We can't have the mindset of a real parent that says, I'm a community parent and these are my children. So if I see them getting out of line, I'm going to call the carpet on them. And I know if they're getting out of line 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to go say, well, I'm not going to go talk to their mama because she probably crazy and this, that, and other. You already know what she is. She overworked because she working them 10 hours a day trying to feed them. So we're not going to go beat mama up because her kids acting crazy. We're going to help mama and assist mama because we uncles and aunties and brothers and sisters again. And we understand the village concept. It takes a village to raise a community. Can't no one person raise their children by themselves successfully. If you didn't put your kids in a school with some teachers that actually cared about teaching, if you didn't take your children to a church where the people at the church actually cared about children, we wouldn't be raising good children. Nobody can do it by themselves. I don't care if you are married and it's a husband and a wife. You need some aunties, some uncles, because kids can be kids. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you got to call somebody and say, can you please come get them? Because I'm about to lay hands on them and I don't want to go to jail. I know my mama had to do it. I thank God I had godmothers my mother could just send me to. Put me out the house and she would know exactly where I'd wind up at. And I'd walk through the door and I could hang up the phone and I wouldn't know that, yeah, he just walked in. I got him, girl. Don't worry about it. I sent him home in a little while. He can stay. All right. Talk to you later. You get you some rest now. That was community. And if it wasn't for that type of community and it wasn't for that type of understanding, God knows where I would be. Because my mother was up to her neck with me, trying to work and go to school and take care of me. So we got to stop blaming what's going on in the community and start being a solution to the challenges because we all got them. Everybody should belong to some group, some organization, something. It is no way possible for us to be successful on our own anymore. All of this single, independent parent, single daddy, single mama, I got this, I can do this all by myself. You can't do it for a lifetime. I promise you, you can't. You're going to run out of 2 things. You're going to run out of money and need some help, or you're going to run out of good health and old age is going to creep in and you're going to need some help. And don't wait till you get to that point to start talking about where's the help and you ain't helped nobody along the way, because the help usually is reciprocal. Those that you help turn around and help you. And so we got to come back to being a community again because we need help. Our young people need mentors. They need somebody that's been through what they've been through already. The goal of the Temple of Mercy Association is to re-educate. retrain youth and young adults to develop positive moral values as an alternative to the delinquent behaviors that you see going on in the community. You got to re-educate, you got to retrain them. Our youth are in the most valuable position they can be in their life. With all the technology and AI and everything being at the fingertips of your hand on a phone call, Google, there's nothing they can't learn how to do. They ain't got to go to no library, check no books out. They ain't got to buy no Cliff Notes. They ain't got to do none of that. They can go ask Siri. They can ask Google. They can ask Alexa. They can ask almost anything on the computer, and it's going to pop up and get them the answer. They can go to YouTube. How do I do this? How do I do that? And learn it. But yet, the enemy has our children diverted towards nefarious activities. Why? Because they promoted it. For the last 3 decades, our community fathers have been Maury, Jerry, and Steve Wilco, with all the madness that they promoted on TV for the last 3 decades. And now we're sitting around wondering why the children are acting like they're acting. Why women and men and children are behaving like they behaving, because it was promoted to them. Why is it that we go on the BET Awards and act the way that we act and sing the lyrics that we sing on national TV? That's unheard of. That same information, if you share it on social media, it's no problem. But if you write something similar, it goes against Facebook community standards. I'm sorry, we got to put you in Facebook jail. That's nudity. You mean to tell me what we saw on BET wasn't nudity? You mean to tell me what we heard wasn't profanity? It didn't go against no regulations, no standards of TV, nothing. It was okay to do that. It was okay for our children to see that. And now that's who our children are looking up to. And then the whole world get mad at India Ari when she say, hey, the Essence Fest ain't BET. We're a little bit more classy over here. Y'all don't need to have no twerk contest. This the Essence Fest. We're trying to bring out the best in women. We're trying to get our women to be educated and upright. And she say something, and then the whole world want to attack her as if she wrong. Do we not have any more grandmothers? I'm almost afraid of people that ain't raised by their grandmother, because them was the last generations of people that had sense. Most of the stuff that's going on in this world right now, if our grandmamas were still here, boy, they'd be turning over. My grandmama, you didn't let us watch Tom and Jerry. You know why? It was too much violence. Every time the nanny, the black woman, would take the frying pan and try to hit the mouse, oh, that's too much violence. You can't watch that. We couldn't watch the Flintstones. You know why? Because when Fred and Barney went bowling, and one of them would slip and the ball would go in the air and come down and hit somebody on top of the head, that's too much violence. I don't need y'all acting like that. And we thought something was wrong with grandmama. Now you fast forward that today. Couldn't watch I Love Lucy. You know why? Because they showed their bed on TV. They wasn't in bed together, but just because they showed their bed and pajamas, you don't put pajamas on TV. Oh no, turn that channel. Now look at us today. It's almost anything goes. We can define everything the way we want to define it. We don't have to accept our identity no more. We don't have to accept our gender. We don't have to accept our race, our ethnicity. I can be whatever I want to. If I wake up tomorrow morning and I want to be Tom Skilling, a Hispanic male, I can be that. Because this world has lost its ever-loving mind. And so anybody that's trying to destroy a race of people, the best way to do that is to get that race to be seen in the light that if you ever decided to attack that group of people, nobody would speak out in their defense. When Hitler moved on the Jews, he didn't just move on them right away. They had a smear campaign about the Jews. They had magazines and newspapers and articles, and it would show Jews moving into your neighborhood, and it would show rats and roaches following them. So nobody wanted to live next door to Jews. They would show them prostitution. They would show the porn industry almost boomed with the showing of Jewish people in porn movies because they were trying to destroy the image of this people. And so when Hitler began to march them into tanks and into concentration camps and murder them and put them in gas chambers and exterminate them, nobody spoke out in their Holocaust for the first 2 years because everybody believed that Hitler was just cleaning up the trash in the community. If this government today decided to move on black people, the rest of the world would sit back and watch. You know why? Because they go back to that image of what they saw on BET. The sister in the polar sausage stand got profiled as the typical black woman. The whole world says she should have shut up. She shouldn't have been arguing with that man. The video come out, she ain't even raising her voice. Her conversation ain't even directed at him. She talking to her son standing in the door. But because of the image, because of the campaign, she the angry black woman. She should have shut up, like she deserved to be punched. I don't care what somebody's attitude is. No woman deserved to be punched. And I know they've made all of us want to punch them at some point in our time, but we don't do it. I know every male in here, mama made us want to just go, you know what, lady? Oh my God. But we ain't never laid our hands on it because we got sense. So it don't matter what she say. It don't matter the manner she was talking in. It don't matter if she had an attitude or was angry or not. No man has a right to put their hand on women and vice versa. But because the world has shown that type of image of the angry black woman, it was so easy for the rest of the world to believe when the state's attorneys and the prosecutors charged this woman and said that she ordered the hit. She ordered her 14-year-old son to pull the trigger and do it multiple times and ordered him to shoot the girlfriend who was laughing, and all of that was a lie. But because of the image, they was able to get away with that. But thank God she was a community person. Thank God her grandmother is a community activist. Thank God they've been doing some things in the community to where she's got an individual resume of her own life to show that she's been doing work in the community, and that ain't the sister that y'all trying to portray her to be. Thank God somebody had the real video to show what actually happened, because that poor woman and child would still be locked up right now. Every black woman don't act like that and walk around showing they natural born behind, acting crazy, talking to the top of their lungs. That ain't everybody. No more than every man running around making babies ain't taking care of them. But if we continue to let people portray these images of us, then all we're doing is we're giving them permission to come again and move on us. Genocide is real. And the first stage of genocide is the smear campaign. And if you just look at it and stepped outside of yourself, who would blame America for doing what they do to us? All they have to do is go to court and say, Your Honor, Exhibit A, the baby. Exhibit A, Kodak Black. Exhibit A, you just name them. And what's the music coming out? Exhibit A, Lil Durk. Exhibit A, G Herbo. And play the music. Doom, doo, doo, doom, doo, doo, doom. What was that? Do, 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 do. Everything is about killing. We're justifying our own homicide. We're justifying our own extermination, but we think it's entertainment. We think it's fun. We think there's nothing wrong with it. We're just having fun. The children just need to grow up. Stop being so hard on the kids. Let them grow up. No. We are at war. Our youth are under attack. And if the image of our youth keep being Chief Keef and Lil Baby and the rest of them, and now the females are just taking over, and they are saying some of the worst stuff that guys never could say. Because some woman would point it out and say, wait now. Y'all know how it is. Black folks, we can call each other nigga, but nobody else better not call us that. You know, it's gotten to the point now where black women can say what they want to about a black woman and have no repercussions, but we better not say that. But now they can call each other the B word. But now they can call each other everything but a child of God, and it's ha, 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 he, with the rest of the world watching. And then you wonder why we get all these officers in our community and they come in there with the guns cocked. Because they watch that stuff. What do you think they use for training? Don't you think they want to study the community that they're coming in? Oh, I'm going in Inglewood. I got to work and train in Inglewood in the 7th district. Well, what's going on in Inglewood? Oh, man, homicides is up. This is up. Oh, I got to go over there and train. And then they showing the videos of people and they say, oh, my God. So you mean to tell me these guys with their hair twisted like brother back here, that's the gang? And then he walking down the street, he ain't got no affiliation or nothing. He might be a roster with his locks, but all of a sudden now he's getting pulled over in profile because of his dress, because of the type of clothes that he wearing. Because somebody then told them that Air Force Ones is that's what the gangbangers wearing. You got your Air Force Ones on, and now you don't even know why dude tripping on you, or you got your Jordans on, or your pants might be sagging a little bit because you into the fashion thing and you want the girls to see your designer underwear. Don't feel bad. We did it in my generation. We had to let the little Calvin can slide out a little bit just to let old girl know, yeah, I'm designer, I'm all right, We didn't put them all the way off our butt, but we started it. And now today, it's like, no, we don't want to just see the waistband. We want to see the whole thing, man. Wait a minute. I want you to know they match my shoes now. Now we walk around with them almost all the way off our butt to show people that, hey, my underwear match my shoes. Girl, my drip is all right. And it's fashionable. But just step outside of ourselves and look at how the rest of the world is looking at us. Do y'all realize we average 1,000 homicides every year of young people? That don't make y'all feel some kind of way? 14, 15. Shot in the head 7 times, shot in the back this many times. When I was 14, we fought every day too. That's a normal thing black boys do. It was on the playground though. We had what they called a battle royal. We just be in there fighting everybody. White folks call it mosh pit. They get in the room and they turn on that rock and roll and they just go at it with each other. It's normal to fight. It's normal for men to exert that type of energy, but it's not normal to get a 100-round clip and put it in a gun and just let loose and hit whoever you want to hit, not knowing it's going to go through somebody's window, somebody mama laying in bed. Somebody was telling me in Hyde Park when they had their situation there a couple of weeks ago, the lady woke up and looked to her right and there was a bullet hole in her wall next to her bed while she was asleep. Then she got up and looked. She had more bullet holes in the windowsill. Then she got out to her car. It was shot 40 times. She in the house sleep. Who was doing that? And who's allowing that to happen? Who's dropping off these quick kill weapons of mass destruction in our community? It used to be an accident because didn't nobody know how to shoot and they was doing this and turning their head because they, the gun too loud and they scared and they accidentally shoot somebody. Now you get 100 chances at it. You're going to get somebody. We don't feel some kind of way about that. Y'all ain't got friends and siblings and people that's 14, 15 years old. That was unheard of when I was growing up. The people that was happening to was people that was actually in the streets. It wasn't just normal people. Now we talking about domestic situations. I get into it with your sister get into it with me. I look at this sister and I say, man, she look nice. And I don't know that's her girlfriend because I don't know nothing about all that. And I say something, now the girlfriend get upset. I say something to her. Now she want to jump up at me. And then now here come her brother. He want to defend her honor. Now he want to whoop on me. And then my sister said, and now she want to jump on you. And now we got a whole viral video on social media with 2.9 million views and everybody watching the fight going, woo, and the cameras is out and everything. And ain't nobody thought to say, brother, don't put your hands on that sister, man. You don't want to go to jail. Ain't nobody talking nobody off the ledge. That lady in Maxwell, all them people in there, nobody had the nerve to say, brother, man, leave that lady alone, man. You don't want to go to jail. Black women safe around me because I'd have said something. I'd have stood right in between them, and I'd have acted like I was on his side, and I'd have been like, man, brother, man, forget that girl, man. She, you know, man, don't let these women send you off like that, bro. We ain't going to jail over these women, man. Come on, man. I'd have walked them out the door and ran back in there and said, all right, lady, hurry, get your food, get out now. I would have diffused it. You ain't got to always be tough. We just got to think sometimes and stop being afraid. The day we afraid to address our people is the day we shouldn't even be here no more. I know we crazy. I know it's kind of scary. You don't know if somebody on some Xan or just smoked some Percocet or, you know, had some fentanyl in their system. You don't know what people going through. But I do know there's a God, and I do know we represent him. And I do know that if he be for us, who could be against us? I do know that he said no weapon formed against us shall prosper. So we have to speak in authority. We have to be his ambassadors. We have to address what's going on.
Worship service. We invite you and your family to join us live every Sunday at 616 East 70 from 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. and on Facebook from 12:30 to 1 p.m. If you have to support us with a monetary gift on Cash App at $TOMANATION. Once again, that's $. This will conclude the message you have been listening to will continue live here at the Toma headquarters. We thank you, Black family. See you next Sunday. Black Power.
The one that called it that is self-existent.
The book in that child, because you are a part of that child.
Black power. Black power. Black power. Black